World has these new historical mystery tuck box card games. It's 54 cards, 60 to 90 minutes to play, but it gives you a murder mystery in a box. Does it succeed at it? Let's talk about it.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game Club?
Ahoy there, YouTube. We're back again for another Thoughts from the Corner with my good friend Ronnie. And we're talking about Historical Mystery Death at the Ball. This is a new series of games from Hobby World. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 18 plus, 60 to 90 minutes to play. We'll take you to the table, show you how it works, and then we'll give you our thoughts on said game. All right, then, this is what you're going to get inside of Historical Mystery Death at the Ball. We got our handy-dandy unfoldable rule sheet that should have you up and running pretty smoothly. It's a relatively simple game. Also, the cards tell you what to do. This is the top card of the deck, so you're not going to shuffle it or look through the cards. You'll flip it over, then you'll start to go through the story. This one's going to take us to France, 1677. There's been a murder. And now you can see some of these red spots are going to start being people that you are going to be able to talk to. So we have unlocked deck number 2 and deck number 4 and deck 13. And it's all very clearly labeled on the cards. So we'd have 2, 4, and 13. And now we're going to flip it over, and it's going to tell us the location in which we are at right now. And you're going to flip these over. These are going to be various different tasks that we can do in this location. So we can ask the servants about yesterday's reception, or we could go investigate this area over here where the crime was potentially committed or whatever may be. Now, the thing you'll notice on these cards is they have a little time glass right there. And when you flip that over, that is you taking a turn. And so now that is one of your 24 turns that you are going to take. But we unlocked also 4. So this is another person. So this is the house. And this is another person that we can investigate. You'll notice some of these cards also have these little exclamation points. These means we can investigate them about something, but we have to learn about it first, and we'll learn about it by flipping over some other cards. So pretty interesting stuff. And one thing that it says in the rules is you really need to pay attention to people's facial expressions and small details in pictures and stuff like that. So these are the people that we would potentially be able to talk to at the beginning of the game. And so now the game would start, and we'd say, oh, you know what, we're going to talk to her about her uncle's death, and we'd flip it over. And then all of a sudden, she starts talking about people. So this is one of our turns. Oh, actually, no, this one's great, because this one does not have a little time glass on it. So fantastic. Every once in a while, you get one of these, and this just, she talks about people, and it says, so now we'd have 5 and 6, so then 5 and 6 would be out. And these would be extra people that we could go talk to, and we could go investigate. And it really is very open-ended and freeform how you want to do your investigation. A little bit like a choose-your-own-adventure, because maybe talking to the person in 7 is going to tell you a whole bunch of stuff about the person in 4, but you have to unlock it through 3 first. Well, let's show you this one. So this one, ask her about the guest at the reception. So this one would cost us a timestamp, and we'd unlock more people, and we would slowly but surely unlock the story. And the goal is to get 24 turns. And if you can get 24 turns, you need to solve the mystery within 24 turns. When you think you got the mystery, you can flip this, scan this QR code. It will ask you I believe there's 5 questions, and then this one will give you the answers to those 5 questions, and you'll score a certain amount of points. And each player is actually supposed to give their own answer, because it feels like it's a cooperative game, but technically, due to the way the rules say, I think there is like an MVP of everything if you succeed at the end. But that's how you're going to play Historical Mystery Death at the Ball. All right, Historical Mystery Death at the Ball from Hobby World. What are our final thoughts? Let's go for the pros, let's go for the cons. First, I'm going to start on this one. I think a big con a lot of people are going to have is just the nature of this. You are going to get at most, I think, 1 or 2 plays out of this. Unless you just wait a really long time in between gameplays. Like, I would go back and I will revisit it one time because we sucked at it. But I have a feeling after that second time, you're gonna know most, because there weren't that many cards that weren't flipped over, I would say.
It certainly seemed that way.
But the actual adventure itself, I dug it. I like the core concept. I'd love to see them go to a little bit less of a dry theme. I definitely felt like this theme was a little bit dry. But the core concept, I think, is really rock solid. And if you're looking for a decent amount of entertainment in a small tuck box, I think this provides it. What do you think?
I enjoyed this game a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. For me, mystery in a box games can be really hit or miss, and for me, they're usually misses. But I actually found myself enjoying this game quite a bit, actually. And I kept going back and forth between, 24 cards, because you get 24 cards, and then that's the end. And
24 turns.
24 turns.
Well, there are cards. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. But, and then you try to see if you can figure out what happened. And at first, I was like, 24 cards, I feel like that's most of the cards. How are you not going to figure it out? We didn't figure it out.
Not even close.
Did not figure it out. But I actually thought it was cool learning the information, and you will learn the information in different orders, even if you get the same cards out. And I don't know, I really felt like I was figuring things out. I felt like I was on a trail. Like, someone said, hey, I have a clue about that person. I'm like, okay, let's go talk to that person. Then they gave a clue, and they're like, oh, hey, I found this over there, so you go over there. Like, I felt like you were following a trail and actually learning stuff as you went, and I really liked that.
I like the fact that I felt like we were actually going on different trails. I like the fact that you alternate taking turns and choosing cards, because while you might be interested in this over here, I'm much more like, oh, I want to go look in the bushes at this, at this, that, or the other thing. I agree, though. I always felt like there was an interesting choice that I was excited to see what was going to happen when I flipped the card. And, for a 54-card tuck box game, because I'm the same way. I think a lot of times these mystery in a boxes, they don't hit with me, because I just, sometimes it just feels like, oh, look how clever I am. Look at this clever puzzle I laid out that no one would ever figure out ever. But that's not this at all. It just feels like much more like we're involved in a whodunit. We're just kind of along for the ride. Hopefully, eventually, we'll start to get ahead of the action, which we did not.
And there's some like red herrings, but like it's still a red herring. It's not like some weird puzzle that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It gives clues. Some of the clues are right, some are wrong, but like I said, it gives you a trail and you follow it and you feel like you're figuring stuff out. And I found myself really enjoying it. Oddly, I think really the only thing that I thought was a little bit of a negative, just for me personally, like I'd never heard of any of these names before, and they're like very foreign. So for me, every time it said a name, I had to like refigure out who that was. I could not keep the characters'
names. They could just
names.
be Tom.
I couldn't keep the characters' names in my head.
Yeah. I agree, and that's why I think a less dry theme would go a long way. Like Alfred the Space Dog. I'll know which character's Alfred the Space Dog. I'll go talk to them. That might be a bit of a stretch because they're going for historical mystery. But that's the other thing, too. There's so many different avenues that they could go with this. They could be wondering, like, JFK's assassination or presidential assassination or, on the Titanic. Like, I feel like the core concept here is great. And I dig it. And I think that this is a game that I absolutely can recommend because at the end of the day, you'll play it, I'd say, once, twice. But then you can easily give this to anybody. Like, nothing is destroyed. It's really easy to reassemble it. Easy to learn. Easy to teach. I imagine it's going to have a relatively inexpensive price. Cards felt fine. I mean, they don't really need to be that nice.
I would also definitely say, I felt like how this game plays is innovative. Like, I've never played any other mystery game that plays like this one plays. Have you?
It reminds me of some other games a little bit, like Chronicles of Crime, where you're just kind of wandering around investigating, but it feels like a streamlined version of that. And I really dig it, Yeah. There's one negative. It does need QR code scanning at the end of the game to check your stuff, but you can easily just go to a website, which some people hate. I don't think most people are going to care that much, because it literally is just, here's 5 questions you have to answer, and here's the answers. But at the end, I think we're both in agreement. We recommend this one?
Yeah. As long as you're okay with playing it once or twice. We played it once. I actually would be interested in playing it a second time. I'm sure I wouldn't want to do it a third time. But yeah, 1 or 2 plays, but for what it is, I had fun playing it for sure.
I also wonder how it would be at 3 and specifically 4 players. I feel like at 1 and 2 players, you got a lot of control about, I don't know.
I'd probably like it at a smaller player count.
I agree.
With 4 players, I mean, you're playing literally a fourth of the game, kind of.
Yeah. Either way, historical mystery, Death at the Ball. recommendation from both of us. If it looks like it might be a cup of tea, be sure to check this out. Also, you kind of just answered it, but if I was going to hand it to you, would you want it? Answer, yes. Likewise, I'm excited to play it solo. Expect a gameplay video coming soon. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below as I'm trying to reach 30,000 subscribers in 2023 because 30 and 23 are numbers. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.